Hello, how are you?
I am good, thank you. How are you?
I am very good, thank you. I am very good. And I'm really excited for a surprise topic.
Another one.
I like these now. I like these springing topics on us to discuss. So the topic of conversation that I'd love to discuss today is the Authentic Girls Club.
Oh, love it.
You weren't expecting that, were you?
No, I actually wasn't.
There's sort of three parts to my question, which are what we do, what is TAGC and what do we do?
Yeah.
Why do we do it? And then maybe possibly a little bit about how we do it. But before we kick off and before I ask you these questions, I'd like to put a little bit of context as to why I felt called to have a conversation about the Authentic Girls Club. So recently, Charlotte and I have joined some fantastic online training to really grow our business and to really nurture and serve our members as much as possible in our membership. And we feel like we hit a little bit of a block partway through the training where we had to sort of really refine down what it is we do into almost 2 sentences. Now, we totally understand the need and the idea behind doing this and the point and the benefits in doing this. However, we've stumbled a bit, haven't we? We've totally stepped into overthinking, which has created a bit of frustration between us.
Yeah.
And it only came to me yesterday when I sort of we've put many ideas together and I put one of our ideas out there on there's obviously a community Facebook group for this training course, and I put one of our ideas out there to get a bit of feedback, and one fantastic person who's also in the course messaged back and just said, oh well, if you could just kind of let us know what it is you do, get a bit of context, that would be great. I feel like I could deliver you some better feedback. And straight away I was just like, I know exactly what we do. I know exactly what we do. I know exactly why we do it, and I know how we do it, and I know the results and the transformations that we are seeing in the membership. And that just got me thinking about our mantra that Charlotte and I have for TAGC, which is we make our own rules. And this doesn't mean we're being rebellious against the training, because we wouldn't be doing this training with the person we're doing it with if we didn't believe in what they were doing. So we're fully behind it. But right now for us, I think we're going to tap into our intuition and our gut and kind of just move forward from this sort of 2-sentence block, and just continue with the course. So the reason I'm sharing that is because I thought, what a better way to, if our listeners or viewers are kind of still a bit unsure as to what TAGC is, what the membership is, what it is that we do, and sort of why and how we do it, and what you can kind of expect. But what a better way to kind of share this in a conversation.
Amazing.
About TAGC.
So
here we go. Yay! Here are today's surprise questions. So I would love to know then, Charlotte, if you could share with us from your perspective, what is the Authentic Girls Club?
Yeah, I love what you just said, because we have been blocked, and this has literally just helped so much, is to come back to our why and what is it? And it's literally a community to bring women together to think differently. And I know a few years ago I was in a space of repetitive thoughts, negative thoughts. I was feeling stuck, I was in a rut, I was frustrated, I had no direction in my life. I'd lost all hobbies that I'd had previously through kind of motherhood, they just kind of filtered out, and I was like, I don't even know what I enjoy anymore. And it was a really lonely place to be, because I just didn't know how I could make it better. And obviously the excuses came up for me in terms of I haven't got time. The fear was the back bit of that. But TAGC is here for women who are in that position to come together and grow and find a new way of thinking that really increases your self-belief, your self-esteem, your confidence, that gets you into a space where you are clear with who you are and what you want from your life. So yeah, I hope that kind of says.
That is so clearly put, and I think it's hit the nail on the head. And if I could kind of reflect on what you've just said, it absolutely is a place to bring women together, to grow, and to step into who they are authentically, unapologetically as themselves, and figure out what it is they want. Because personally, I've definitely gone through a transition of losing sight of who I was and just kind of in this day-to-day, however we refer to it, rut, treadmill, stuck, lost in life. And I don't think I really realised at the time that I'd lost me. Now, whether that was through becoming a mother or whether that was through just plateauing a bit in life, perhaps. I've always been ambitious and I've always been a striver. And I hit a point in my other business where I'd kind of made myself a bit redundant, and then I felt I wasn't growing anymore, and I felt lost, and therefore I think I felt unknowingly sorry that I lost touch of me and who I was and what it is I wanted.
And it's so easily done, isn't it? We actually put together, didn't we, this kind of who the Authentic Girls Club is for, and like what does their day look like right now. And we kind of reflected on what our days looked like before having started any of this work, and it was busy, wasn't it? We were stuck in the weeds of our day-to-day life, and we couldn't get out of them, and we couldn't see clearly. We kind of described, didn't we, waking up, it's full on. You're full on into your day. You've probably snoozed 5 times before getting up, which has put you on the back foot, and you're feeling behind before you've even put your feet out of bed. So then you're into it. You're into breakfast. If you are a mum, obviously full on into motherhood. If you're not, it's full on into work or whatever it is that you've got on that day. Then, the morning disappears before you know. We said, you can get to mid-morning and your tummy starts rumbling and you're like, oh, probably didn't eat yet. And all of these things where we're just not looking after ourselves. Then you kind of think, right, got lunchtime. That passes you by because you've either got washing to do, you fill it with going on a walk or seeing someone, or children are there. Then afternoon goes by and you do whatever you're doing. You try to catch up with friends, but everybody's that busy in their own things that, you're having half conversations. You're not fully open up about what you want to speak about, and maybe there is also fear because you don't know what it is that you truly want to speak about, and you kind of come away feeling a little bit like, you've not let it out what you want to say. And then you get to the evening and the evening cycle begins, and you're into tea time, you're making I think there's a thing out there, isn't there, of like being an adult is like having to make tea every day. And I was like, literally, I don't want to be an adult for that reason. I hate making tea. But we do tea, and then we're in the busyness again. If it's motherhood, putting children to bed. If it's not, you're probably still thinking about work and emails, or you maybe try to catch up with a friend, or you're that exhausted that you cancelled those plans, and then you're feeling bad about cancelling the plans. Then we get to the evening, we're exhausted. We think, right, let's try and do that thing that I wanted to do. And you just don't have the energy for it. And you don't have the headspace. And all of these things have just built up throughout the day just to make you feel worse. And I know we've said before, haven't we, like in terms of finding these things that bring you unique joy. So literally us as a person, not anything to do with, our family or anything. What brings us happiness, that we can do that brings us happiness. And those things, when you're in that place, feel a lot, and they feel like I just can't add them into my day. But I know I found that when I added them into my day, I got more energy from them. I think you think that they're going to drain you, but you get more energy from filling that cup. Yeah, so
you do indeed. You do. No, you're absolutely right. And I think painting that picture, I can totally relate to that cycle, that daily cycle.
Yeah.
And that, like you say, getting up and before becoming a morning person, that's constant snooze, because there was no there was no zest for getting up. There was no vitality for getting up. There was no, I can't wait to leap out of bed. And don't get me wrong, I'm human, and there are days when I'm not leaping out of bed. But I definitely leap out of bed more than I don't, compared to, I was just, not, I could have stayed in bed all day.
Yeah.
It felt like there was nothing there to, to give me that sort of zest to get out of bed. And you also sat in bed, and then what do we do as well? We reach for our phone and straight into social media, straight into comparing our lives to somebody else's.
Yeah.
We can be so consumed in everything that's going on outside of us, and comparing ourselves to other people, that we don't give ourselves any space or any time for ourselves. If we tot up this time that's spent scrolling aimlessly on social media as an escapism, imagine what we could do investing that time in ourselves. Like you say, just finding these small moments of joy, because it may feel like initially you don't have the time for that. But just to reiterate, like you said, Charlotte, when you do make the time for those smallest things, you start to see really small shifts.
Yeah.
And those small shifts add up, don't they?
They do.
And I think this is just referring back to the question of what is TAGC. It is a platform. It is an online community of women who are feeling all these feels, but want to start making these shifts, making these little changes, starting to do things a bit different just to get different results. And I think that could lead me on to the next question quite nicely in terms of so why do we do this, and why is it so important to us to be doing TAGC?
Yeah, so firstly, I think we both relate to this one of we've both done a lot of unbecoming, and that's a lot of unknitting these beliefs that are instilled in us through the society that we've grown up with. And I know we are both so passionate about making sure that our girls don't have to do that, that they are happy from their core with who they are, and they feel equipped for when these things come up. And it's always going to be there, isn't there? There's always going to be someone that you aspire to be that probably isn't, it's not as real as you think it is. We obviously had that with magazines, and now it's social media. I think there's a bit of both. There is massively, there's an authentic side to social media, but there is also still this side that we think someone's life is that way, and that that they look that way.
That's what we should. We should be that.
Yeah. So I think that is one element of it, and for me, I think it's having these conversations with women who are so just in self-doubt and questioning their every move and feeling so guilty about things. And for me, I think I have seen the power of putting that aside and actually being me, and how much of a difference that can make in the world. And that could look like, literally for me, sending someone a really nice DM back that's like, a bit above and beyond what you would just think, oh, thank you, or it's putting that bit of you into the world. And I genuinely believe that if we all did that, we would be living in a much happier place, and just building each other up rather than tearing each other down. And I've got this, I've said before, like I kind of used to label myself as naive, but I genuinely believe that everybody, no matter what they've done, like, this is a big old statement, but we all started as a baby who literally came into this world to be themselves. And it's just sad that we have got, some people get so lost along the way. And I think that drives my passion of just, seeing the good, being the good, and just doing our individual bits to make this world a better place for our next generation.
I love that. And just touching on the building each other up rather than tearing each other down. Obviously, through doing this for the time that since you started and since I've joined on the journey of TAGC, we're definitely seeing so many common threads, and I think that's really important to highlight, isn't it? That so many of us women are feeling the same.
Yeah.
And if we take a moment to be open and honest and vulnerable in a safe, non-judgmental space like TAGC, if we take a moment to do that, there's comfort in that. There's comfort in knowing that you're not your thoughts, you're not your beliefs, and you're not alone. Because there's so many other women out there feeling exactly the same. And I think this kind of taps into one of my whys, is that when I was first introduced to thinking differently, and sort of self-development as a whole, I was just absolutely just so excited by it. Just kind of, like I've shared with you before, haven't I? I felt like I was now part of some secret club that I was like, whoa, I have this ability to think differently, and I'm limitless, and I can be, do, have, and, you know, create anything in life. But I was so young, and I felt so incredibly lonely of starting that journey. I remember thinking back then, I just wish there was something like what TAGC is now that I could tap into as a community, because I was literally on the search for anyone and everyone who was in this club of new ways of thinking, who thought, you know, that they could change their beliefs and their attitude and their behaviour and shift their mindsets. So I was trying, you know, I hunted down for these people, and I found a few, but to have all these women together collectively on this journey of personal development is such a driving force behind what we do, because loneliness is tough, isn't it? And what do you want when you're feeling lonely? You want to feel supported, you want to feel encouraged, and you also want to feel a bit like, if you know, that we do this a lot with each other very well, if we're stepping into a zone of overthinking, or we know we want to take action on something, it just takes for the other one to go, just do it.
Yeah, we have a little action emoji, don't we?
We have a little, little clapperboard. We literally, if one of us is just hesitating.
Yeah. I wanted to...
we send it over and... Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, the delay. Over to you.
I was watching the wonderful Mel Robbins yesterday, and obviously her 5-second rule, and this is... So basically, when you want to do something, you literally count, whether you want to do something or whether you don't want to do something, you have to do it. You count back 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you do it. And she was just explaining yesterday, like, if you have an impulse to do something, if you don't act on that impulse in 5 seconds, you blocked yourself. You're not going to do it. And like, you're literally just not going to do it. And that could look like, if it was an idea, writing it on a piece of paper. That's a step towards, getting this out of your head. But just that, like, how important taking that action is. And I think that's what we have seen in the club, isn't it? It's taking that action and feeling supported for that action is priceless, because it moves you forward to then take the next piece of action and the next piece, and then your momentum builds, and then you're starting to really change your life. And one of the initial challenges that we did last year, the beginning of last year, was the Quit I Can't challenge, wasn't it? And that was moving from I can't to I can. And in terms of thinking differently, like, this is how I massively see it, because I used to say, I can't do this, I can't do that so much. And when I started noticing it, oh my goodness, even more. And it's about testing yourself, isn't it? And being like, right, what do I say I can't do? Right, I'm going to pick one, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to prove to myself I can do this thing. And it builds trust within that. Then you're like, okay, I did it. And this could look tiny, by the way, because I know one of mine was literally French plaiting my daughter's hair. But with every single action that you take towards that thinking and changing that I can't to I can, you are proving to yourself that you can do the things that you want to do. And you're doing it, like, one step at a time. And if you can be proud of it and feel supported for it in a community, obviously, like TAGC, you're going to do it a lot quicker, and you're going to build that momentum much faster. And I think that's the amazing transformations that we've seen, isn't it?
We have, yeah, absolutely. And I think also it's that Oh, sorry, I've lost. I think you lost my train of thought there. I do apologise. Sorry, I'm skipping ahead. Yeah, sorry, apologies.
It's okay.
Yeah, I know what I was going to say exactly. My other why is like what you've just shared. Sorry, that I can't, I can. It's like when we announce it, it's like a tip. It's a tool. It's a strategy, isn't it? And it's raising those levels of self-awareness and catching yourself in that moment when I can't. Hold on a minute.
Yeah,
I can. And that's another part of my why is having been on this self-development journey for quite some time and learning and reading and doing and seeing the results and the benefits of all of these tools. We say like a little toolkit, don't we? And taking the action on it. I really want to, I know we really want to share with everybody what it is we do, because we've learned it, we've done it, we're doing it, and it's giving us amazing results. So that's my other sort of push behind my why, is to make sure that all these tools and tips and strategies that we've kind of got good at doing are out there for people to use and bring it into a space like TAGC. It's just removing that overwhelm, isn't it? And we're kind of putting it into a nice, neat package, so the tools and the resources are there for everybody to tap into and learn and use as and when they need them along their journey.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I love the toolkit way of thinking about it, because really, and this taps back into, obviously, we've both got 2 daughters each, haven't we? But we're not really, we get to like parent stage and we're not really equipped for life, like in terms of our mind, are we? Like from how we grew up, and life's challenges, the doubts, the comparing ourselves, all these things, and having a toolkit of things. And these kind of things, they're simple, aren't they? This is what we say, they're simple, but they're not easy. You do have to make that decision to do them, and you do have to follow through and keep up with them, like in terms of affirmations, to make sure that your beliefs are true and not untrue. You've got to keep showing up and doing them. And I think equipping women to take on life so that they can enjoy it more. Stop overthinking, stop thinking that someone's thinking something and they're actually probably not, but in your mind you've doubted yourself and you're thinking about that conversation that you've just had. I remember that, like I'd think, oh gosh, why did I say that? And I'd get home and I'd be in my head about it. Like if we come together, we can all drop that. Be a bit kinder to ourselves and move through it and start being who we are meant to be. Yeah, that's right. And so the how, that's the next question, really, isn't it? And that, in a very literal sense, so what is it we do? We provide this community of like-minded women to come together and to grow and to start on their self-development journey. And we know we do it because we've been there, and we see the power in what what it is we can do as a collective and individually when we have that support. And we provide the tools and the resources to make these shifts, and take these steps. So how, Charlotte? If somebody was considering coming and joining us, what I suppose it's setting an expectation. What is it that we do in the membership to deliver this? Absolutely. So we come together 4 times, don't we, a month. So the first virtual is all about just letting those challenges out and talking about them in a smaller group setting. And I think that's a great little offload, isn't it? To kind of to support others and also feel supported yourself. And it really does work both ways, because I was actually talking to one of our members who was like, I was just in a room with exactly who I needed to be in a room with on the last virtual. And they supported each other and they had answers for each other. And I think when we actually do open ourselves up to being vulnerable in that way, we often do. We can share what we've learned and it helps others. And I think that in turn obviously makes us feel good because we've helped, and also we've let our challenge out. So we come together for that, don't we? And we do a bit of a life assessment. Then we have masterclasses for self-development learnings, which is a great space to just take on a new notion and just try it on and see what that's like. And then we get together for another virtual, and then we round off with a journaling session, which is so powerful. And the last one was just, the energy was amazing, wasn't it? And it was
It was.
journaling together in a space where, you know, you don't have to share, but if you want to share, it's there. And I think in terms of our how, you know, and I think many of us can say we haven't got time for ourselves, TAGC is here to map that out for you, and you turn up and you have gained yourself an hour where you might have switched on the TV, felt exhausted and tired, felt in that same space. Like, there are these events there for you to lean on and to attend, and to have that hour where sometimes, I mean, I'm not going to lie, it's a push, isn't it? When you get to, you know, the 8 till 9, when you get to 8 o'clock at night, you could easily just go, oh, I'm not going to turn up, I'm going to turn the TV on. But do you want to do that and feel in the same place tomorrow? Or do you want to do something different? Show up, either learn something, let something go, or just think differently about something, and wake up tomorrow feeling refreshed and feeling much more ready for what your week's, you know, got to hold. So yeah, and then obviously we have the Facebook group for all support throughout, where we share all of these wonderful steps of progress. The
Facebook group is it's just wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's just all things and everything, isn't it, in terms of community and support and love and kindness, and it's just beautiful.
One of the things that literally I think warms me up so much is, I obviously have spoken about how I started my journey with Instagram. Writing a post in the way that obviously we do now in the group doesn't come naturally originally, and I think it's a push to share that. If it's a small step to write that into words, whether you post it with a picture or just post it, that is also a big step in itself, because you're acknowledging it yourself, but you're also putting it out there to help others, and also to celebrate in that with others. And I think that is such a wonderful element of togetherness, and where I felt really lucky that I had that in terms of my Instagram, that I could put my thoughts out there, put something that I'd done out there to help others, but then they'd help me as well, because they'd be like, oh, I needed that, or, you know.
yeah
And it really is about that. And it's obviously, it is on, you know, in terms of social media, it's a new take on it. Be yourself, put your thoughts out there. Like, you can help, like every single person listening to this, you can help someone today, like just by being you and putting something out into the world that, you know, you may be feeling fearful about. But I love that. Like, you can literally, if we come together, we can help each other. And yeah, gone off on one again.
Amazing. No, I'm just listening in awe. I really am. So obviously I'm clearly very biased, but I'm just listening in awe. So that's wonderful. Thank you so much. And I really hope to anyone that's listening or is watching, that this conversation has helped to kind of see a bit further what it is we do, why we do it, and how we do it. But of course, if you still have any questions at all, anything about the membership, or just if you've got any problems, frustrations or challenges, and you'd love to throw them our way, so that we can continue to serve, then that's what we're here for. So please do get in touch. And we believe in you.
We absolutely do. And that comes from such a heartfelt place of having, I know obviously you believed in me from the get-go with the Authentic Girls Club, and we had our weekly chats of accountability to get it out there into the world. And I think having that someone in your corner, and this is where obviously TAGC is a community of people in your corner. But before joining, you know, even listening to this, like, we are in your corner, and we have all felt, you know, similar feelings. We've all been through these doubts. We've all been in our head, and you can live the life that you want to live. And if you're ready to obviously delve into thinking differently and the whole notion of self-development, we are right here, aren't we?
We are. Amazing. It's been lovely to chat.
Yes,
thank you so
too.
much.
Oh, speak to you soon. Bye.
Bye.